What is pain? Well, pain is actually just a symptom of a wound. It's our body saying, hello, there's something going on. So the pain is there to notify us that there's something bad happening. Hey girl, so glad that you tuned in. My name's Bethany, and this is the Make Up Your Mind channel. You're listening to episode number 41. Whether you're actually putting on your makeup, maybe you're getting ready for work or school, it's probably summer when you're listening to this, so maybe you're not even in school, maybe you're in the coffee drive-thru or out at the lake, I don't know. Wherever life finds you today, I hope that you remember that there are people that are for you, cheering you on to succeed. I hope that I get to be one of those people standing like a cheerleader on the sideline of your life, reminding you to make up your mind all day long about the small things that add up to huge things later on. Girl, we have been talking through a series on social norms all summer. All kinds of things, all kinds of topics that society has made normal that maybe shouldn't be normal. Today's episode is titled Beauty is Pain. So wherever you're consuming this content, make sure that you like it, you subscribe, you share it, you save it, whatever. Girl, I'm so excited. Let's get to it. Okay, as always, starting out the episode with a hot beauty tip. I have been using this Revlon blow dryer for just about a year now. I actually tested it out while I was at a wedding, and one of the other bridesmaids actually brought one of these, and she has hair that's relatively the same texture as mine, very thin, very fine, straight hair. And you know, for those of us with that kind of hair, we need all the help we can get with creating a little bit of body, if you know what I mean. This is actually, for those of you listening to the podcast, a blow dryer and round brush combined into one. It's fantastic because it gives you body as you blow dry. I would love to hear what some of you with curly, thicker hair have to say about this if you've given it a try. You should definitely DM me on Instagram and tell me what your experience with this bad boy is. I've posted a link in the show notes. It's about $30 if you purchase one of these on Amazon, and you should definitely try it out because I love it. I use it every time I dry my hair. It is worth it for $30. Let me tell you what. So go check out that link. Tell me what you think. All right, but let's get to today's topic. Beauty is pain. I'm sure some of you guys can automatically go into your minds and think what this episode might be about. It might be about dieting or exercise or wearing really giant heels that are really uncomfortable, kind of like in The Devil Wears Prada. I love that movie. Does anybody else out there love that movie? Okay, I know it's old, but it's fantastic. Anne Hathaway. Well, as you know, we have been going through a series on social norms, and these have been unearthing some behaviors and some ideas that society has created normal that probably shouldn't be normal. Today, we're going to be talking a lot about pain. And here's the thing, nobody likes pain. Sore muscles, headaches, discomfort. Can I get an amen about period cramps? Nobody likes them. But pain can also be a lot of other things, like painful emotional circumstances, like really hard relational breaks, like divorce, like breakups, like friends going opposite ways in life. Nobody likes any of this kind of pain. Nobody likes pain in general. And actually, if you do like pain, if you like to cause yourself pain, maybe you're into cutting, or maybe self-sabotaging or sabotaging relationships, I do want to suggest to you that that could be a symptom of some even deeper pain. And it might be time, if that is the case, to find someone in your life, a trusted friend, to talk to you about those things, or a counselor. I know that for me, therapy has been a huge deal in my life, kind of helping me to unearth some of the deeper roots of some of my pain. So I would suggest, if that's where you find yourself, not to discount that, but actually to lean in and find out what the actual cause is. Because truly, the way God wired us is actually not to like pain. We actually weren't created to experience pain. Pain and suffering and hardship, sickness, disease, and death. None of those things were actually hardwired into who we were created originally to be. They're not part of our original design, and they're not part of God's original plan. If we take it back to the Garden of Eden, most of you know this story. Adam and Eve were there, and God set them up to have a whole garden full of beauty and splendor and all these beautiful trees with all this fruit. And yet we chose the one option that God said no to. We chose our plan to be more important and better than God's plan. And when we did that, we decided that our ways were better, and sin actually entered the world. And with sin came sickness, pain, disease, hardship, death, all of those things. When we see that we actually weren't created to experience this pain or loss or death, we can see our tendency come to the surface, and that's to avoid pain. And we avoid it at all cost. Am I right? No one likes to deal with pain. Everyone just wants to avoid it or numb it, if at all possible. When we're in pain, we take pain pills. We numb it out through things like alcohol, tobacco, vaping, maybe marijuana, possibly pornography, even hard drugs or cutting. All of these are symptoms of things that we do when we're trying to numb some deeper pain. We would rather just slap a Band-Aid on, a temporary relief of the symptom and our view of what might be causing us pain. We slap on that Band-Aid over the festering wound that's constantly trying to be avoided. I'm sure by now that you've kind of picked up that I'm not just talking about bodily pain like scrapes, bruises, broken legs. I'm talking about emotional pain, emotional wounds. I'm talking about stress. I'm talking about anxiety, depression. Some of these are some deep emotional traumas that we've gone through that are just actually gaping wounds in our heart. So let me ask you this. What happens when we avoid pain rather than treat it? What is pain? Well, pain is actually just a symptom of a wound. Am I right? It's our body saying, hello, there's something going on. You have a big cut and it's not good. So the pain is there to notify us that there's something bad happening, that something is not right. Something is hurt and it needs our attention in order for it to be cleaned and healed. If we think about pain like that, it's actually a good thing. We spend our lives avoiding pain, but pain is actually saying hello, trying to get our attention that there's actually something deeper going on. And when we ignore the pain, we don't address what's happening. And instead of the wound healing, it festers. It gets infected. It gets way worse. Here's a story from when I was probably 5 or 6. I remember going to the playground with my family, and there was one of those merry-go-rounds, that you push really fast and then you jump on and it spins and you get super dizzy and you want to throw up. Well, I remember when I was really young, I was one of the kids on the outside pushing it. So I was running around in a circle, pushing this thing with all the other kids on it, and then at the last minute, you have to kind of jump and pull yourself up onto the merry-go-round and just kind of ride out the wave. Well, I was pushing, but I was probably too little to be doing that. And while I was pushing, it came time for me to make the jump. And guess what happened? I'm sure you know. I didn't quite make the land, and I fell as the merry-go-round is still going, and I'm still holding on for dear life. Well, it was dragging me, pretty bad. There was wood chips, there was gravel. I ended up kind of hanging underneath the merry-go-round, and my poor little legs got super scraped up. I had lots of cuts, lots of dirt, lots of stuff going on, a lot of blood, probably enough to scare a parent, let's just be honest. I don't know how parents hold it together sometimes. But I remember my mom saying, hey, it's gonna be okay, and taking me home. But when we got home, what do you think my mom did? She was like, you're fine. Go play. Go rub some dirt in it. You don't need any Band-Aids. It'll heal on its own. Just be brave. Be tough. Pick yourself up. Dust yourself off. Pain will eventually go away. No, that's not what she said to my poor 6-year-old little self. She took me into the bathroom and she had to wash my leg in the bathtub. We had to scrub out all the dirt, first of all, to make sure that it was all clean. And then there was a lot of blood, so I had to kind of dab it with a rag for a while until the bleeding slowed down. Well, then we had to do the most painful part. We had to pour the antibacterial liquid into all of the cuts. And boy, if you've ever been there, that is not a fun experience. It stings, especially when you're 6 and you are not used to getting your body cut. I'm telling you what, I probably cried, I probably screamed. I did not like what was going on. But what was happening? She was cleaning the wound so that it could heal. She put Band-Aids all over my leg, and then from time to time she would periodically check the Band-Aids to make sure that they didn't need to be redressed, re-antibioticed, re-put new Band-Aids on, you know what I'm saying, cleaned up and properly cared for. But we don't do that as a society. We just keep going as though nothing happened. We try to numb out our pain using those different ways that I talked about earlier and just pretend it's not there. We try and shove it down and pretend that we're just fine. We don't intentionally mend relational wounds by asking forgiveness. We don't seek out therapy when there's been some deep hurt and emotional trauma. And we don't run to Jesus with our honest hearts, saying, will you heal us and cleanse us? Nah, we don't do that. We numb. I numb. How do you numb? Can you think of the ways that in your life you might be numbing pain? Think about a time where your feelings were hurt or you experienced something that was really deeply painful. What did you turn to? For me, it's Netflix. It's TV shows. And it can be as simple as that. I try and disassociate from the experience that I've had by putting myself in another environment, in the middle of a TV show. I just try to escape the pain. But what would happen if instead of doing that, I actually ran to Jesus and spent time telling him about the pain in my heart? What would happen if I did some self-reflection about the experience and really took time to process it, maybe by journaling? What would happen if I processed the pain with a trusted friend, a parent, or a counselor? This week's title of the episode is Beauty is Pain. And here's the thing, is I believe that when we actively face our pain, face the wounds, and actively care for and mend our hearts with the help of Jesus and others, man, we get more beautiful. We get healed. And then we're able to spread beauty and healing and health and wholeness to the people that are around us. After we endure what might feel like pouring antibacterial liquid into those wounds and into those deep hurting places, it's not fun. But when we do that, it actually allows our heart the chance to heal. In the Bible, Jeremiah 33:3, it's talking about God's heart to heal his people, Israel. And it's a beautiful example of the heart of God and our personal healing. Jeremiah 33:6-9 says, "But now take another look. I'm going to give this city a thorough renovation, working a true healing inside and out. I'm going to show them whole life, brimming with blessings. I'll restore everything that was lost to Judah and Jerusalem. I'll build everything back as good as new. I'll scrub them clean from the dirt that they've done against me, and I'll forgive everything they've done wrong, forgive all of their rebellions, and Jerusalem will be a center of joy, praise, and glory for all the countries on the earth." If that doesn't sound like beauty and healing, then I don't know what does. You guys, the social norm is to numb the pain. To numb it with anything and everything that will work for you. Anything that will make you feel better in the moment. But the way of God, the way that's maybe not as socially normal, is to address your pain with Him and allow your heart to be healed. It can be so much more painful to look directly at your pain, but girl, let me tell you, it is worth it. Healing is worth it. Beauty that comes is worth it. Girl, thank you so much for joining me today here on another episode of Make Up Your Mind. Be sure to subscribe and like wherever you're consuming this content. Make sure you share this episode with a girlfriend who might be in need of this right now. Bring somebody along on the journey of healing with you. Girl, remember that you are seen, you are loved, and you are deeply valuable. And until I see you again in a couple weeks here on the channel, I'll catch you on the socials. See you soon.